This is One on One. Dr. Arjun Masurkar is Clinical Core Director of New York University's Alzheimer's Disease Center. Good to see you, Doctor.
Thanks for having me.
So, like millions of Americans, our family has been dealing with Alzheimer's / dementia. By the way, clarify the difference.
So dementia is sort of the umbrella term.
Yeah.
Dementia means a loss of cognitive abilities that you've had to the degree that you're dependent on others. Alzheimer's disease is the #1 cause of dementia with age, about 70% of cases.
We've dealt with our family, other people have as well. So here's the thing. You talk about, quote, early detection. Devil's advocate. Why do we want to know?
Well, our efforts in this field are kind of going in parallel. We're trying to find treatments, cures for the disease. But what we're finding out is that those cures are probably only going to work at the very early stages. So we have to find ways to detect the disease at its earliest stages for the treatment point of view.
Right.
Another point of view is that families and patients, a lot of them want to know early on what is going on so they can predict, so they can prepare for the future.
Let's try this. I don't know if the word cure is a funny word, and I want to say your business from a clinical point of view. How close are we to a, quote, cure? Or do we even know that?
I don't think we know that yet, and I think that we have to sort of temporize what we mean by cure. I think probably a more legitimate goal would be a medication or a series of medications that can slow down the disease, but not necessarily just halt it, and certainly not reverse it.
Try this. By the way, you can tell we're in New York City. You can hear the sound around us. I'm curious about this. And again, thank you for clarifying the difference between Alzheimer's and dementia. But I'm also curious about caregivers. I've seen, others have seen, the impact that Alzheimer's has on caregivers. How difficult is it for them and for families around the caregivers and the patient?
It's difficult for caregivers on a multitude of levels. Psychologically, it's very hard to deal with someone with dementia as the disease progresses. Financially, it causes stress. People are getting older, those caregivers are getting older and having their own health problems. And so they're not able to take care of themselves as well.
Let me try this, doctor. As people get older, does the likelihood that they'll have dementia increase?
It does in a way. The peak onset of Alzheimer's dementia is between 65 and 85. So that's really where the age is the biggest risk. After age 85, the rules we're finding out are a little bit different. People above the age of 85, 95 or 100, they've almost evolved in a way to resist the Alzheimer's changes in the brain.
For those of us who have had family members, so let's put this out there, and again, only talking about myself for the purposes of helping others who are watching us right now on public television. Question, if your dad, in my case, it's my dad who has dementia, does it increase my likelihood? Does it increase someone's likelihood if their dad or their mom? Does it make a difference?
So I think what you're alluding to is the genetics
Yes.
of Alzheimer's disease, and that's pretty complicated. There's one type of genetics of Alzheimer's disease that's very deterministic. Less than 1% of Alzheimer's disease is like that. There are 3 genes. And those families, it's really going to be running in the family. Half the people are going to have Alzheimer's. It's often early, less than age 65.
Wow.
But typical Alzheimer's disease of older age is usually not so deterministic in terms of the next generation. There may be risk factors, genetic risk factors that could maybe boost your chance by 4-fold, 6-fold. But in essence, that may be modulated by other genes that you have.
Can we talk food?
Definitely.
Does it matter?
I think it matters.
How so?
So there's a lot of evidence that certain diets are good for the brain. For example, the Mediterranean diet is one that's often touted as very healthy for the brain. It prevents the memory centers from decaying in time during the disease. And I think the idea is that it has lean proteins, healthy proteins. It has antioxidants and good oils, good fats.
Is there a clinical trial or trial, what's it called, trial match?
Trial Match.
What is that?
So trialmatch.alz.org, the website, is the Alzheimer's Association sort of trial network. And so the Alzheimer's Association is the biggest nonprofit funder of Alzheimer's research. They do a lot for caregiver support and as well, but they play a key role in trials. And the only way we're going to get to a cure or something like a cure is to have enough participation in trials across the country. So they have a list on the Trial Match website of over 250 studies, both looking at drugs, but also lifestyle and non-pharmaceutical strategies to try to make a dent in this illness.
And finally, awareness matters.
Absolutely.
Because?
We need everybody on board for this problem. It's going to be an epidemic. And so we need everyone at every level, not just scientists and doctors, but social workers, caregivers, people who can educate the public to really on board.
The media as well.
With this. Absolutely. We need to get the word out. Look at how much advances we've had in cancer over the years. And that's because a lot of money has been put in, a lot of advocacy, a lot of trials. So we need as much of everyone to participate as possible.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you
I learned
very
a lot
much.
from listening to you.
Thanks.
Well done. I'm Steve Adubato. This is One on One. We'll be right back.
One on One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. This special edition of One on One with Steve Adubato is brought to you from the Tisch WNET studios at Lincoln Center. Funding has been provided by New Jersey Sharing Network, the Turl Fund, supporting Right from the Start NJ, the New Jersey Education Association, PSC&G, the Russell Berry Foundation, MD Advantage Insurance Company, Investors Bank, and by Kessler Foundation. Promotional support provided by Insider NJ and by New Jersey Monthly. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.